only strength. Okay, so when you get in that moment where you start to feel that weakness creep in, where you start to feel that you are not okay and that you will not get through this, that is where strength is built, because you cannot have strength without weakness. And so you need to start building. You need to start building your foundation, because you need to be strong. Okay, so you have to start telling yourself that I am the best, that I will do whatever it takes, that I will get through this pain. I don't care what it takes. I will get through this, and it will make me stronger because of it. Okay, do not allow weakness to creep into your mind. Weakness is dumb. Okay, don't be dumb. Don't allow yourself to be dumb. Okay, only build on strength. I am the best. I will do whatever it takes, that I will get through this no matter what, that this will never hold me back. Okay, so only lean into strength. Be strong. Next, the more information you have, the more things you can factor into your decision making. A lot of quality information is important to make good decisions, and I will always want you to make the best decisions that you can. Okay? Next, be delusional and connect with whatever resonates with you. Okay? It is your mind, it is your head. Allow your mind to be free and believe whatever pulls you. Believe whatever positively pulls you in, because it is your life and you want to do what is beneficial for your life, even if it's not reality. Even if it feels illusionary or delusional, do not allow people to tell you that that is a delusion, okay? Stop allowing people to say, things that are delusional, or that's not okay, or this or that. Don't allow that. Do what is best for you rigidly, because you are going to build your own person, and that's what you want to do, because most people are weak, and you do not want weak. You want strong. You want to build strength. You want to be powerful. You want to be strong in a way that is going to dominate other people, and especially dominate other weak people. Next, going from being a kid to being an adult is just a set of behaviors and actions. Mainly being responsible, okay? You don't need to shed your kid self to get the adult, okay? And parents don't explain that. What you have to do is you have to take your kid self, you have to take your childhood, your desires, and all of that, and you have to build on it. You have to build yourself up into a person who is strong and powerful, okay? You need to build yourself so that you can get where you want to go. Use your childhood as a foundation, okay? You don't ever just split off and say, I was a child and now I'm an adult. All you need to do is take your childhood self and put responsibility on it, and that will allow you to become an adult, because you have purpose and you will be able to take care of yourself. That's what you need to do, okay? And parents don't ever explain that. So what you need to do is you need to use your childhood as a foundation and become who you need to be, okay? Find that clarity there. Next, have moral standards for yourself. These are things that you would consider unreasonable if you were in that person's perspective. Choose them based on being a good person. Would a good person do this? Okay? So you want to say, I am outside of my body. I am outside of who I am right now. Would a good person do this? Is this the perspective of life that I want to live? Is someone going to look at me and say that this is a bad thing to do, or that they shouldn't even be around that kind of person because that is bad? Or do you want to be a good person, a person who can stand up for themselves, a person who is able to, insert the things into their life that they need regardless of what other people say, or any fear, or any of that? Don't allow that in, okay? Choose strength every time. Next, you have to stay proficient in a skill you develop. Otherwise, it can go away, okay? Treat each skill, each subject, like a sport that you have to perform in, okay? So each moment when you find that skill and you start to recognize that you are getting good at something, you have to remember your old habits. You have to remember what made you so good, what made you and built you into the character that is good at this thing now. You have to remember all of that stuff, because if you don't, it's going to erode naturally, okay? And you start to get complacent, and you need to not allow that complacency to get in there. You need to say, I am going to keep the habits that I have developed the skill, and that I am going to be the best at this anyways, okay? And make sure that if you do something and you're good enough in an area, that you maintain it, that you maintain those habits, okay? And sometimes that can be difficult to go from high performing and being the best at it down to maintaining it so that you can focus your attention elsewhere, okay? But that's what it takes to be good at everything. It takes that kind of talent, that kind of skill to be good in every area. You have to maintain everything in all these areas, and then you have to also pursue what you need to go after next. Okay, so make sure that you can hold on to things. Okay, make sure that you can pick out the right components so that you can be good everywhere. Next, burn your old self, build your new self. Okay, so sometimes we get in the pattern, we get in the habit of who we were or who we are, and this is us now, and whatever. Don't allow your old self to stick to you. It's like goo. Okay, you never want goo on you. Okay, you always want to go take a shower and clean that off. You want to build into your new self. You want to build into someone who is stronger, someone who is better. Okay, and that new self, that might be hard. That might be painful. Whatever it takes to build that new self and burn that old self is what you need to do so that you can shed your skin. You want to be like a snake. You don't want to be slippery and slimy and sly and all that stuff. But what you want to do is be able to shed your old self so that you can build into your new self, and you can build a new life. You can build a new identity, and you can build what you need to become more successful. Next, structure your thoughts. Be more consistent with a topic you need to think about. Okay, create guidelines for your thinking. So you need to be able to think through things in an efficient way. You have to be able to have some sort of structure. So structure your thoughts so that you can build on them, so that you can find a way to go from here to here, and you can start connecting dots more seamlessly, and they can connect into a bigger picture. Okay, sometimes you have to structure these thoughts, or otherwise they get all over the place. They get random. Okay, so you want to have levels to it, or you want to have some sort of formula so that you can go from where you are now and you can organize the information in a way that's going to get you the goal that you're trying to get to. Next, have the best intentions for the person and the interaction every time you go in. You always want to do what's best for someone. You never want to do what's not best for someone. Even if that person's hurt you, even if that person has done something that has been negative to you, never allow that to influence your character. Never allow what someone has done to you or done in your life to influence who you are. Always walk in with the best intentions. Always show up and be the best person that you can be in that moment. Okay, because you are all you have in the moment where you have to look at someone who is not good to you, who has been a bad person to you. You have to hold and maintain the line on your good character. You have to stay that way, or otherwise you lean into their habits, into their emotions, and then that influences you so that you become more negative and more of a worse person, and you lean into bad habits. You don't want that. You want to hold your character. You want to hold the good line, and you want to stay on the side of good and not lean into bad habits, bad intentions, whatever it might be. Don't allow it. Ignore it and move on so that you can continue to be a good person and resonate well in your society so that you're not doing stuff that is just bad for society. You want to be doing good for society. You want to be the kind of person who has that feeling or that moment where you are helping other people. Next, always tell the truth. Okay? You never want to lie. You never want to be the kind of person who lies or goes out and says stuff that's, not true or false or whatever it is. You don't want to do that. You always want to tell the truth because you always want to have your best interest in people, and they want to be able to feel that. Because what that's going to do is it's going to build your community. You're going to feel like you are a truthful person. People are going to feel like you're a truthful person, and you're going to be able to build trust and influence and be a leader and be someone who can resonate with other people, and then you can become successful with them, okay? Optimize for your community if you want to be a successful person. Okay, that's when it's going to drive you to have goals that you've never even thought that you could achieve because you are going to have a community of people who are boosting you up to your highest limit. Next, make progress strategically every day. Okay, so every single day we have things we have to do. We have goals that we have to get through. Okay, these are the little tactical things that we have to do. But if we never focus on the big strategic picture, we are never going to get where we want to go. Okay, so we have to do certain things every single day, regardless. I've got to show up to my job at this time, or I've got to go do this at this time, or I've got to go eat at this time, whatever it might be. Those are all things we have to do. But if we never start angling ourselves and we never start pointing and directing ourselves towards the bigger picture, we're never going to get there. So make sure that every single day, even if it's just for a few minutes, even if we're just thinking about it, that we are angling ourselves strategically so that we can get what we want out of life, so that we can eventually get to the goal, and so that we can eventually become successful and reach our desires and get to a point where we are satisfied with our lives, where we have accomplished all of the goals that we have set out to accomplish, and we can be who we needed to be. We can fulfill our potential. Okay? That's where we need to go. So make sure you're focusing strategically every day on something that will benefit your life long term. Next, your adrenal glands will last 100 years longer than you do. So use them to take on risk and push yourself. Okay? We get in situations where our adrenaline spikes just a little bit, and then our mind starts to go into, I need to be in safety, I need to be in relax mode, I need to be out of this current environment and into a new one, when that's not the case. We, most of the time, have to recognize that we are having some sort of adrenaline release, and we have to use that as fuel, we have to use that as drive, and that's what's going to push us to be better. Okay, that's what's going to allow us to take on more risk in the future, and that's what's going to get us into a position where we have a stronger character, because we can take on things that seem too big or seem too, explosive for most people that light their life on fire. But we are going to be the kind of people who are strong enough to deal with those situations. Next, to think about something logically, you must be able to use accurate labels to describe that thing. Okay? Connect 1 million of the wrong dots and you're still wrong. Okay? So even some of the smartest people don't know how to connect the right dots. They don't know what dots to connect because they can't label the problem clearly, or they can't label the things in the solution clearly. Okay? So you can have the smartest person and they can fire everything in their brain extremely quick. But the problem arises when they're connecting the wrong dots. And that's what oftentimes makes the person who has the most talent, who could be so smart, that's often what impedes them because they're inaccurate. Okay? So make sure that you're focused on the right thing, that you find the problem that you need to attack, and then you can go haywire in trying to figure out everything about it. Okay? Next. Good posture is important for your breathing, your speaking, your attractiveness. Okay, so make sure you have good posture. And that's back posture, neck posture. You want to make sure that you have good posture because that's how it shows up to other people. They don't often measure you for how you look or this or that. It's oftentimes your posture and how you carry yourself. So you want to carry yourself in a way that's elegant. You want to carry yourself in a way that's stern or whatever, okay? Optimize for how you want your posture to look if you want people to see you in a good light, okay? You want to be seen in a way that's sturdy. You want to be seen in a way that's charismatic. You want to be seen in a way that's going to have a good impression on other people, okay? Next, work like the people you want to resemble, okay? And work like someone who has the strongest work ethic you can imagine, okay? You want to find these people who do exceptional things. You want to see these people who are out there, who are crazy innovators, who go do awesome stuff, and they live this, amazing life of built this and built that, and you want to resemble how they work. You want to resemble what they do. Okay, find those people, because even a little bit of what they do or how they work, if that slips off onto you, it's going to make you better. It's going to make you a better person who can work on stuff, who can figure things out. Okay, so find those people and stick to them a little bit. Next, opportunity to benefit your life course in your future is a moment that you have to take seriously, and you have to take it well. Okay, that opportunity to build your good character, to build your good life, take those moments seriously, because someone can truly impact you, okay? Don't allow someone, and measure their intentions. Measure if they're slippery or sly or something feels off, okay? But if the moment feels right, if the societal, impact feels right and that person seems to have true intentions for you, take those opportunities extremely seriously, because that's how you build community. That's how you build society, and connect with those people. Find that bond. And when you find that bond and you connect with that community of people, that is how you become successful. Okay? People always talk about networking. When you need to network with someone, when you need to be in a position where you know people, where you know someone, okay? That is what builds you as a person and makes you more successful, okay? So don't shy away from those people. Measure their intentions, measure if they're the right person for it, and then connect with them, bond with them, and it will ultimately make you more successful. Next, reflect on the roots of where you came from to understand yourself better, okay? You should always be in the mode of where am I? Who am I? What have I done? Okay, because it's so hard to figure yourself out and grapple with yourself to see, who am I? Okay, and so when you get in a situation where you have time or where you have the opportunity or where something arises that kind of struck you in a certain way about yourself, you have to recognize that moment. You have to feel that moment, and you have to see, is this something about me? Is this something that happened to myself? And how can I become someone different or better? Or how can I understand myself so that I can solve this problem, or so that I can lean into whatever this is and it can reinforce who I want to be in the future? And when you do that, you're going to improve your character and you're going to become better overall. Next, remember what does good for you. Okay, remember habits, thoughts, routines, whatever it is. Find the things that do good for you and lean into them. Okay, and sometimes it's a physical object or a product, whatever it is. Find that thing that does good for you, and you are going to learn from it. You're going to live a life that you enjoy more for it. And the thing that genuinely does good for you is what you should lean into. Okay, and lean into things that are similar to that as well. Okay, because if you struck gold once, you want to strike gold in the same place again and again and again. Next, lean into stress. Lean into stress further and further, and you will find positive results. Okay, oftentimes if we're going through something hard, we're feeling something hard, that stress that accumulates in our body from trying to get through the thing is actually what we need to lean into. Because if we lean into that stress, it's going to make us do things that we weren't originally doing, or it's going to force us to be a new person. And that's what we need to do when we come into a problem that we don't know how to tackle, or something we don't know how to think about, whatever it might be. We have to get through it, and we have to find those positive results. And you can only find that through the stress required to go through it in order to become or to come out on the other side as someone who has gone through that, persevered through that, and gotten the right result. Next, set up your subconscious mindset to prioritize. It can only focus on one thing at a time, okay? And then consciously think about it. Then intensely think about it. Then feel some pressure from it, okay? Now your subconscious is preloaded with that topic, okay? So allow your subconscious to think about one thing, and it only can think about one thing at one time. And then start using your mind to kind of dig into it. And what this is going to do is it's going to prime you to get ready to do something. And so when you need to attack something, think about your mind, think about your body, and then you can go attack it. And it's going to make you more effective, okay? And then once your subconscious is truly preloaded on that, you can move your attention elsewhere to solving the problem, fixing the problem, or whatever it is. But you want to line up your attention with your subconscious and with your conscious, and that's going to allow you to be more effective. Next, the only way to develop personality is to experience hard things and develop an emotional charge from it. Okay? So you don't experience, you don't gain experience in your personality by going out and doing the same things every day. Okay? No one develops personality by doing that. You only develop personality when you go through something uncomfortable, when you go through something hard, which is why you need to have different experiences, or experiences that push your limits, okay? And when you do that, you're going to develop that personality, that emotional charge, and that's going to be able to drive you to do other things in the future, okay? So find those things that provide friction. And once you lean into them, you're going to develop a character that's better, that's going to be stronger, and going to be more capable of doing other things in the future. Next, stronger the emotional charge or the mindset, the better the creativity or perfection. Okay, so find that emotional charge, find that right mindset. And once you have those two things combined, you will lead a life of perfection. Okay, so find those things find that state of being where you are super emotionally charged and you have a super strong mindset, and then your physical body is capable enough to do it, and you're going to find that perfect mode, and that's going to allow you to build things in all sorts of areas. And once you start building, once you start finding how you can build over here and you can build this detail over here, it's going to lead you into a triangle of perfection. Find the triangle of perfection. Find it mentally, find it emotionally, and it's going to lead you to a successful perfection life. Next, play the performance game and make your actions look flawless and smooth. Okay, so you want to be performing. Okay, everything in your life is a performance. If you're talking to someone for the first time, that first impression is a performance. Okay, and even if it's not recognized that way, even if you want to be able to relax around that person, I understand that. But you have to be able to perform when the time comes to performing, okay? You have to be able to perform, whether it's in your job or whether it's in, the gym, whatever it is, you have to be able to perform, okay? And you want it to look flawless. You want it to look smooth because that's going to reinforce. You don't want to reinforce that because you want other people to think that you're flawless and smooth. You want to reinforce that because you know you're flawless and smooth, because you know you're capable of doing that. And that's going to remove all your doubt. That's going to remove all your insecurities, and that's going to replace it with confidence. That's going to replace it with capability. And you are going to feel that inside of yourself when you walk in there and do it. You are going to feel empowered by it, and that's going to allow you to be more successful.